Welcome to your personalized deep dive. We're diving into this cool article today about making positive life changes, and get this, in just 30 days. And it's not about crazy impossible stuff either. We're talking small, everyday habits. Expert speaker, kind of like a recipe for a better you, one small step at a time.
Absolutely. It's so easy to think you need this massive life overhaul to make a real change. But honestly, the power of small but consistent habits is incredible. And that's what I think this article does well. It breaks down these fundamentals of well-being into this doable 30-day challenge, makes it feel way more approachable.
Okay, so let's say I'm starting tomorrow. What's the first thing on the menu? Where does this 30-day transformation journey begin?
Well, it all starts with how you begin each day, really. The article emphasizes a morning mindfulness practice.
Interesting. So no jumping into a HIE workout right out of bed? We're prioritizing mindfulness first.
Exactly, and you don't have to be a meditation guru or anything. We're talking just 5 to 10 minutes. Focusing on your breath, maybe practicing some gratitude. It just sets a calmer, more intentional tone for, well, your whole day. Like creating a bit of space for yourself before things get hectic.
Makes sense. I know when I start my day feeling rushed, he kind of snowballs into this whole frazzled all day feeling.
Right. And there's a reason for that. It's science, actually. When you practice mindfulness, it lowers the activity in the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that, well, triggers that stress response. It's like you're hitting the pause button on stress before it even gets going.
Wow, so just a few minutes can actually rewire my brain to be calmer. That's pretty amazing.
It truly is. And it's not just about stress either. The article also talks about how regular mindfulness can really improve focus and concentration throughout your day.
Okay, I'm starting to see how these small changes can add up. I mean, if I'm less stressed and more focused, that's got to help in other areas of life, right?
Yeah.
What comes after we've given our minds that morning reset?
Well, then the article encourages us to get those bodies moving. Aim for at least 30 minutes of physical activity each day.
Okay, so are we talking adding a whole workout to our morning routine now?
Not necessarily right after mindfulness, but yeah, finding time for movement is key. And it doesn't have to be intense. The article emphasizes it can be anything. Walking, jogging, yoga, even just dancing around your kitchen, whatever gets you moving.
I like that. It's not about forcing some grueling workout. It's about moving your body in ways that you actually enjoy.
Exactly. And I think most of us know exercise is good for our bodies, but this article dives into the mental and emotional benefits, which is really cool.
Tell me more about that. I'm always up for feeling happier.
Well, studies show exercise can really boost your mood, sometimes even better than antidepressants for some people, which is pretty amazing. It's because exercise releases endorphins, and those have mood-boosting effects. And it's not just temporary either. Regularly moving your body can actually lead to long-term improvements in mood and just, overall well-being.
That is amazing. I do actually feel more energized, even more clear-headed after a good workout. So it makes sense it has such a positive impact on our mental state. It's like a reset button sometimes, would you say?
Totally. And you know what else is a game changer that we often totally take for granted?
Let me guess. Getting enough sleep.
We'll circle back to sleep for sure, but I was thinking of something even simpler. Water.
Oh, right. Good old H2O. It is easy to forget about staying hydrated when we're, caught up in the hustle and bustle of the day.
It really is. This article stresses drinking at least 8 glasses of water every single day. Might seem small, but it makes a huge difference in our minds and bodies.
Okay, besides the obvious of, not being thirsty, how does staying hydrated make such a difference?
Well, for one thing, it can seriously improve your focus and boost those energy levels. Dehydration can actually lead to brain fog, and fatigue. So staying properly hydrated keeps us thinking clearly, helps us power through the day.
That makes a lot of sense. Hard to focus when you feel like your brain's running on fumes.
Totally. And get this, it can even improve your skin.
Okay, now that's a bonus I can get behind. Definitely filling up my water bottle right now. So we've got our mindfulness, our movement, our hydration. What's next on this 30-day challenge menu?
Well, the article then talks about being intentional with our days. It emphasizes setting those daily intentions.
So like making a to-do list.
Kinda, but it goes a bit deeper than that. It's more about identifying one clear goal or focus for your day. It doesn't have to be huge either. Could be as simple as I'm going to be more present in my conversations today, or I'm going to approach challenges with a positive attitude,
I love that. It's bringing that intentionality to our actions instead of just going through the motions.
Yes. Exactly. And the article says the simple act of setting an intention can really impact your focus, your motivation all day long. Having a clear objective helps you stay on track, helps you make choices that line up with your goals.
That makes a lot of sense. And you know what pairs well with intention setting? A healthy dose of gratitude. Is that on our 30-day challenge list?
Oh, yeah. The article talks about how transformative practicing gratitude can be. And again, it doesn't have to be this big, complicated thing. Just write down 3 things you're grateful for each day.
I love that. It's so easy to get caught up in the daily grind and just focus on what's not going right.
Yeah.
Taking time to appreciate the good, big or small, can be huge.
Right. And it's not about pretending everything is perfect either. It's more like you're training your brain to focus on the positive, even when things are tough. This article highlights how powerful that little shift in perspective can lead to greater happiness, more contentment overall.
So we're talking about actually rewiring our brains to be happier. I'm in. Now, does this plan involve, like, a Netflix marathon? Because if so, I'm all in.
Well, it does talk about reducing screen time, but it actually suggests a different kind of escape. Reading. It says we should try to carve out at least 20 minutes each day to just dive into a good book.
So a different kind of screen time. I can get behind that.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be, some super serious, life-changing book, a novel, biography, cookbook, anything that sparks your interest, gets those mental wheels turning. The key is to engage your mind. Expose yourself to new ideas, fresh perspectives.
Like a workout for your brain.
Love that. And just like exercise strengthens our bodies, right? Reading regularly strengthens that cognitive function, improves memory, can even make your vocabulary better.
So we've got our mindfulness, our movement, we're hydrated, setting intentions, practicing gratitude, reading. This 30-day plan is already pretty awesome. What else should we add to the mix?
Well, the article also highlights journaling, which I think is really valuable.
Ooh, journaling, yes. It's like having this direct line to your own thoughts and feelings, no judgment, no filters.
Exactly. It's a safe space to be yourself, process your emotions, untangle your thoughts. It's a way to understand yourself better, really. The article talks about it being a powerful tool for self-discovery, but also for stress relief.
I can see that. Sometimes just getting it all out there on paper, or even typing it out makes a huge difference. Speaking of feeling lighter, got to ask about the sleep habit. Feels like that comes up a lot in these conversations about well-being.
Right. You really can't underestimate a good night's sleep. This article really makes that clear, how we need to aim for that 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every night.
It's crazy how much better you feel after a good night's sleep, like hitting the reset button on everything.
It's not even just about feeling better, though. The article talks about how essential sleep is for, well, everything. Mood, focus, memory, even your physical health.
Okay, you've convinced me. Blackout curtains, here I come. So we're taking care of our minds, our bodies, getting enough sleep. Anything else for this 30-day transformation?
Well, the article also mentions the importance of, believe it or not, our environment. Like, it suggests adding a little decluttering to your routine.
Oh, decluttering. Okay. You go behind that. Clean space, clear mind.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the idea. Even a few minutes each day, just tidying up, it can really create a sense of calm, of control. And when our physical space is more organized, it's like it frees up mental space too, for other things.
Yeah, like you're removing visual clutter to make room for more mental clarity. Love it. Okay, so we're good on the inside, the outside, our spaces. Yeah. Anything else we got to cultivate for this transformation?
One more crucial thing. It's something the article emphasizes, and it's often way easier said than done. Self-discipline.
Yes, self-discipline. The secret sauce, right? The thing that turns good intentions into actual habits. But man, sometimes it's the toughest one. Any tips on how to get better at that?
Yeah, it can be a real struggle. But the article makes a good point. Self-discipline isn't about being some robot who never veers off track, It's more about building that consistency muscle, making those small positive choices day after day, even when you don't feel like it.
It's like building resilience, not letting those little slip-ups derail the whole thing.
Exactly. We all have off days. That's normal. It's more about approaching it all with self-compassion. Get back on track when you can.
Such a good point. Okay, before we get to the final bits of wisdom here, let's do a quick recap. Mindfulness, exercise, hydration, setting those intentions, gratitude, reading, journaling, making sleep a priority, decluttering, and of course, self-discipline. Wow. What else does this plan have in store?
Well, it actually tackles something that's so common these days, and honestly, it can be really detrimental to our well-being. Screen time.
Ah, yes. That digital world that just sucks you in. 1 minute you're checking the news, next thing you know, it's 3 hours later and you're watching, like, cat videos. What's the article's take on finding that balance?
It's not about swearing off screens completely. I mean, they're a part of life, right?
Yeah.
But it's about being more mindful, setting some limits on things like social media, maybe how much TV you watch, and then use that time for things that actually nourish you. A lot of what we've already talked about.
Being intentional with our time and energy, choosing those activities that really light us up.
Exactly. And speaking of things that light us up, the very last habit the article talks about is connecting with loved ones.
Yes, human connection. Can't forget that. I feel like in a world that's becoming increasingly digital, prioritizing real relationships is more important than ever.
100%. The article really emphasizes those strong, supportive relationships, how vital they are for our well-being. And it doesn't have to be these grand gestures either. A quick call, even a text message, having a meal with someone, it all makes a difference.
It's about those small acts of connection, those daily reminders that we're not alone in all of this.
Beautifully said. That sense of connection, of belonging, that's powerful stuff. Reduces stress, boosts mood, even good for your immune system.
Wow. This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. I feel like this article gave me a whole new perspective on making changes. It's not about this big, scary overhaul. It's about these small, manageable shifts that when you put them all together, well, they can create a life you're really excited about.
I'm so glad you feel that way. And, what I find so fascinating is how interconnected all these habits are. Remember how we talked about sleep, better focus?
For sure. When I'm sleep deprived, forget it. I'm like the queen of distraction.
Exactly. And when you're more focused, well, you're more likely to stick to those other goals, right? Like exercising, being mindful, even just remembering to drink enough water. It's like this ripple effect. Positive change just kind of spreads out.
I love that analogy. Okay, so as we wrap this up, if you had to pick one of these habits, just one to start with, which one do you think is the most impactful?
That is a tough one. They're all so valuable, but honestly, if I had to choose, prioritize your sleep.
Really? Even over things like exercise or mindfulness?
Sleep is the foundation. I really believe that. It impacts every single part of our well-being. When you're well rested, you just make healthier choices all day long for your body and mind. It's like setting yourself up for success from the moment you wake up. And from there, you can start layering in those other amazing habits. Gradually build a routine that supports you.
Such great advice. So, to everyone listening, as you start trying out these habits, think about what really resonates with you. What are your goals? And remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Even small steps in the right direction can make a world of difference.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's about progress, not perfection, right? Enjoy the journey, be kind to yourself along the way, and celebrate the changes as they come.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive. Always a pleasure picking your brain.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to you, dear listener, thanks for joining us on this journey of self-discovery. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.